Hello friends, welcome to this episode of Creative Scrapbooker Magazine Technique Tasters. I'm Noreen Smith and I usually blog over at organizedandcreativemom.com, and I'm so happy to be here with you today to show you some new products from Creative Memories and give you some tips and tricks for using the fabulous Border Maker system. So the products that I have in front of me here today are from the brand new wedding collection called Ever After, and it's a full collection. I've just got the paper, stickers, and the variety matte pack here, but it's a full collection with a beautiful cover set, pre-designed fast to fab refill pages, and there's also some additional embellishments. You can also get it in a gift box, so it would make a great wedding gift, or you can make it up ahead of time for someone and give that to them as a wedding gift. It's just beautiful. So today I'm going to be using, as I mentioned, these matte cards, and I wanted to show these to you especially because they're a little bit new, a little bit different. I'm loving the fact that some of them are shaped. They're cut out into die cut shapes. We still have lots of the beautiful designs on them, things that you can use for titles, quote cards, that kind of thing. But I'm really enjoying the fact that some of these are now shaped and die cut, and I think I'm actually going to be using these two. I love the little scalloped edge on those ones. So let's get going. So I mentioned that I'm going to be using the Border Maker system, and you've probably seen me use this before. If you haven't, you're in for a real treat. The Creative Memories original Border Maker system is a fantastic tool that you can use for so many different layouts. You can buy the interchangeable cartridges that create a beautiful pattern, and this is the brand new Rose Chain Border Maker cartridge. So we're going to cut out actually 6 rose chain borders from a couple of the different papers. We're going to use, as I mentioned, the rose, the green, and the bronze shimmer. So to use the Border Maker system, we simply open up the gray paper guide on the back of the guide itself and open up the blue flap. This is a magnetic strip here. We're going to slide our paper right into the guide and fold the magnetic strip down. And then we fold the gray guide back and out of the way so that our paper is kind of sticking out there. Then we put our Border Maker cartridge into the holder, press firmly, and you can see that that now becomes our punch. And you can see that there's a little channel here. That's where our paper is going to go. And these little notches here are going to fit into the notches on the back side of the Border Maker. So let's just slide our Border Maker over our paper, and you can feel the Border Maker notches sort of grip and grab, and you know that you're in the right place. Punch down, and then you're going to move up to the next set of notches. And you can always visually look as well. There's a little sort of ridge here and a little ridge on the Border Maker, so you can just match those up visually as well. Okay, so you can see that I've got my 6 borders all cut out, and you might notice here that I've actually got 12 roses in each of my border strips. So I'm actually going to just take my scissors and cut 4 off of each end. I'm going to save those for later. So I'm going to keep these aside, and I'm going to bring in my wood grain pattern paper. This is what my layout base is going to be, and I'm just going to start playing around with these borders, and I'm going to kind of create an offset or diagonal pattern with them. Then I've got my 2 matte cards that I can play with. Now I took a couple of photos from my own wedding here, and I actually printed them out in sepia because my husband was wearing a bright red kilt and my bouquet of roses was bright red as well. So just printing them out in sepia makes them work really, really nicely with this particular palette. Okay, so that's pretty much the layout. I'm going to go ahead and adhere those. Okay, so I've got my borders and my mats and photos down. Just a note that I use the repositionable adhesive to attach the borders. The repositionable adhesive is tiny little dots of adhesive that just glide right over any of those intricate die cuts, intricate borders, that kind of thing. And then any adhesive that is kind of shows through just rubs off with your fingers. So it's a great tool to use with any of the Border Maker cartridges. All right, well, let's make some of these little rosettes now. I had mentioned that we are keeping our the 4 pieces of roses from the rose chain that we cut off. We're going to make little rosettes out of them. So to do that, I'm going to again add my repositionable adhesive there to the bottom half of 3 of the roses, and then to the back bottom half of the 4th one. All right, and then again, I'm just going to fold and press, fold and press, fold and press. And they're kind of a shabby chic little rosette, and I really like something like this because it's going to give a nice little bit of dimension there. Okay, so I've got all 6 of my little rosettes done, and again, that's just the 4 rose pieces that was cut off of each of the border chains. Now I'm going to start to play around with some of my my laser cut greenery. And this is just going to be a lovely sort of anchor for these rosettes that we made. And actually, I should show you that on the back side, there's 2 different greens you can choose from. So the darker green goes beautifully with the blend and bloom, but I really like how the sort of paler green picks up these particular colors. Let's look at our stickers now. And I'm kind of thinking, I'm not going to use any of the borders because I've got some lovely borders already here. But I'm kind of thinking that I might use something like this as my title. Or maybe the happily ever after. Something like that. And I'm going to just mount that on some foam squares just over top here. And then I might have some little hearts that I'll add throughout the layout and just kind of spark it up. So let's go ahead and just adhere all of that down. Alright, so you can see my finished layout here. It didn't take too long. I've got my title and I added some of these pretty little hearts here, and that red just kind of sparks a little bit of contrast there. It was a pretty quick layout to make. I didn't have to do any cutting. I just punched my borders and then probably the longest was punching the borders and making the little rosettes. But I love the dimension and the texture that it has, and I love those kind of little clusters. Alright, so I really hope that you get a chance to play with the Ever After collection, and of course, if you haven't already played with the Creative Memories Border Maker system, you need to do that as well. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day and come back soon for another episode of Technique Tasters. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.